Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I would like to open the meeting of the Advent Town Council meeting to order to conduct the business on behalf of citizens of Advent, Indiana, to hear from various departments to progress of their activity. Both invited to attend as an observer of the council proceedings, and occasionally allowed to input towards a particular subject. We, the town, adopt the rules of order. No one shall speak unless they are recognized by the council president. Once recognized, the speaker shall stand, state your name, state your purpose. The rest of the council speakers remain on the subject of discussion shall not introduce any matter for further discussion. No profanity or vulgarity will be allowed by the council in the session. Those are allowed to speak to the gallery will be permitted to speak 3 minutes the first time, 2 minutes the second time, 1 minute the last. To the matter of the current subject. Council by statute has final authority on all matters to this session and conduct the meeting in such a way as deemed necessary to maintain order and proceed. For anyone would like to discuss a new concern or request speak card not be completed and return to Clerk of no later than Wednesday prior to the council meeting. Forms received after that on the place of the following month's agenda. Town council can take original steps to maintain order in the meeting, including removal of any person who is well instructed during the meeting. That's the end. Okay, first thing on the agenda. Dan Hewlett, you're first. First time for everything.
Didn't get your gold watch.
I guess. Says presented to Dan Hewlett, recognition, appreciation of your 43 years of dedicated service to the community. Thank you for your tireless commitment, hard work, and diligence, and next time council, July 21st, 2026. For the 22 years, or 43 years, you've done all this stuff. Dan? Amazing.
Also, while Dan's here, I'm going to present with his retired Advent police badge. Is retired corporal ID. So, Corporal Dan, you ready?
Here, Lynn, please hear your Here, Lynn.
Make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from June 16, 2026.
Hold on a second. We're going to call the meeting. Okay. On the upper excavating, on the, we talked about the mowing, we were talking about trimming the limbs. You did trim part of the limbs. We told you to go ahead and trim the rest of the paper, right? Was there any problem with that? Did you trim the limbs?
Absolutely.
We do that in it.
Busted our tails over for about 3
Trim the limbs,
days.
or trim the limbs?
Well, I do think I said it just once enough time.
Will you specify?
So with that amendment, then,
Yes, we can amend it to that. Can I get a motion for the amendment? Motion for the amendment. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Next is, council to consider claims for July 21st, 2026.
I make a motion to approve the minutes for July 21st, 2026.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
And let me go through this. So claims for this month were $441,074.51. Why they were extremely elevated, we paid ISC for submit work of $70,000, fire department contract payment of $15,000. attorney 10,000, USDA bond 13,707, Reef Riley construction of the road 176,622.85 for a total of 285,329.
Council review and sign of reconciliation for June 2026, North Central State Bank. And being one of
Okay, so BMY Melvin, reconciled amount $21,512.67, fund is the same. And for North Salem, reconciled $2,367,399.50, fund is the same. So you see signatures on those. Plain stuff it. Sorry, it's me. Plain stuff it. And also, yeah, just plain stuff. No.
I didn't hear you, sorry. Oh. No, I didn't hear you.
As I said before, do not cross talk because when you talk, it goes on that. And if two people talk at the same time, it's crank up the voice. So one person talking at a time, please. Okay.
There should have been fund.
14.
No, never mind, no, that I, sorry, there should have been, I didn't get it.
There.
And yes, your question is on, but that's okay, it's just a question. Under foreign appropriation, we've already got that, right?
Nothing. We already.
Okay.
Any questions on those?
No.
Okay. Adjustments for June. And fire department adjustment of 182.73. And then there were removals of late fees that were added in here for a total of negative 238.40.
Again, motion to approve the, adjustment for June.
I make a motion to approve the adjustments for June.
That's same.
So, sign this one.
Thank you, Senator.
Trucks, there's no change in receipts on those. Beneficiary forms, already spoke to Sam and, you can fill those out. And I still need, Lindsay and one other person to fill those out. Thank you, Sam.
Next up is budget, raises.
So council needs to discuss that.
What is that, normally 3 or something?
Well, like we are being conservative because we don't know where it's going. But the SB one, 1210.
I'd say,
Last year we did 2.
I think 2 would be right. 2% because of the fact, with property taxes, with the state doing what they're doing, just we don't really know. We may have to put that in the budget because we're not sure if we're going to have 2 nickels or if it's 27 or 28. And after 29, it'd be worse.
I make a motion to.
2%.
So,
All fair, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, next up is Musking. Barry, you want to talk about Musking?
We had our initial MUS meeting, and it was with the clerk treasurers, 2 representatives from Baker Tilly, and Sherry Ritchie, who is, I believe, the vice president of the county council. She's been kind of nominated to run it. And basically, they were just doing an overview, but we're gonna have several more meetings regarding the must and try to have amicable conversations. And Baker Tilly is going to be doing some calculating. I reached out to AIM because Campbell Ritchie with AIM, which is Southern Indiana Municipalities, said that they'd be happy to attend at no cost. It was mentioned in the meeting that with Baker Tilly, the county may ask all the municipalities to contribute, but we weren't asked that on the forefront, so I don't think we should.
Sorry, what was it for?
The must, it's to discuss, because of the lit breakdown, it's for all of the municipalities in Boone County, and because the county council has to adopt on our behalf, because we're below
What it
3,500.
really amounts to is large people come together and meet and come up with time for, local income tax. And this event to the state will come up with $1 billion.
But it's supposed to benefit the legislators moving forward for the legislators.
Are they meeting here?
We did Zoom, but we may have an in-person meeting later, and then bring in more people to the meetings as needed.
I would like to listen to that.
I give a recording. Yeah. So that's kind of where that is.
I'm having a hard time.
Resolution, number, I'm just noting because, Tina did not have, asking for a resolution number, so the resolution number adopted for the last meeting for the planning grant was 2026-01.
We need to have a motion to approve that.
No, I just needed a number for her and she didn't ask me for it. Reports, that I have to do coming up, AWWA audit report and opioid report are completed today.
Okay. We already got any idea what we're gonna do with all the money we're having to help kids.
Now the $292.
I don't know. Just think about it. We may have to have some kind of a program for opiate reduction handlers or something. But someone has to present that to us, what we need to do with that. Okay? Here's the next part.
I hear you. Good evening or good morning, wherever you are. The first thing for the park was the water heater's been installed and the electrical aspect connected, so we now have hot water in the concession stand. The new faucet on the sink, the old one has been soldered several times and was leaking. Ryan from Boone County Health Department is coming Monday, next Monday, for inspection, and we'll bring the permit with him if he passes. Back to school phone party and movie night. The new Super Mario Brothers movie is on Saturday, August the 1st. The RC Club will have the final round of the 2026 Hoosier Off-Road RC Racing Series on 9/12, August 12th. September, okay. The park will be doing hand squeeze lemonade shakeups for events and park fundraising around town and neighboring events, pop-ups. And that's it.
I got something about the park. Guys need to take your gator and pick up sticks and check and stuff. I hope the triple up. You wouldn't believe what I found in the triple.
Did you find a wallet?
Yeah, I wish. Chris hit that with the straight beat. Yeah, he's saying, so you guys need to take a good look at what's all in the park. I don't know where this came from, it was never revealed, but with some exercise, with some, but that would be terrible. If she hit that, it could blow the whole thing up in her case. So, just as you take a good look at everything you start, run your gate over, pick up stakes, find anything you can, first thing I think, you would test that, okay? So, the parts of it, third party. One of the big loads of county commission.
Was there anything else from the cover?
Nope.
The part, because I got an invoice for $26.50 for all the limb trimming. I would have liked for Jim for that to have been bid out, because I did talk to Jones Tree Service. They have the actual equipment to do it, and it would have been $1,400. I'm just saying, because.
I didn't know what to do.
Huh?
I didn't know what to do.
Because I asked them why would we.
They didn't know what the park was.
They've been out there, they know what the park is like. So, I'm just saying, I'm just saying to be conscientious of that. So now the park maintenance fund, is like almost gone, so we're gonna have to do an additional appropriation for the park.
So what we do with this good. I mean, this, parks much cleaner than it was.
Oh, I'm not doubting that.
It's
That's not
still
what I'm
needs to
talking
work.
about. I'm talking about from a cost standpoint, that's all.
Okay, that's- I mean, if you're gonna have somebody bid something, you should have specifications for it.
Well, but also for you to, because you always say we have to verify that the money's there to do it, or if you're bidding it, so none of that was done.
When did that bid? Okay. Let's move on.
Yep, there was, okay.
All right.
UMAC. The water and wastewater plants are running as they should with no violations. Gallons pumped for June were 1,354,000. And gallons, bill was 906,300. This is a 447,700 gallon, unaccounted or 33%. Part of that is tanker training, which I have a report for. Flow tests are back for the wells, and they are good with results and reports now. So y'all have this report.
So the losses on the account for the training.
When the,
Part of it, yes, yeah,
the,
about 100,000 gallons.
things, what we did was not part of our training, because training, what we had to do is a test for a tanker shell, which means how quickly can we vent water, how quickly can we fill water, it turned it into the size. So ISO rates fire departments on what our capabilities are, and the rating score is very, very tough. I mean, I don't know where we're at. Actually, we're counting every piece of equipment on every truck, everything except the ambulance. Have to do training, have to do requirements for hose testing, water testing, everything has to be tested. We showed it to them. I can't just say, we did it, we gotta show it to them. I gotta do it in the third week of August, and we turn all this paperwork in, and they send it up to the Smoke and Mirrors people, and the insurance company, they come back and tell us what we're doing. I don't look for, we're a 6 now, I don't look for that, just because of the fact that rules have changed so that thing so much harder. That's the training requires, and the response requirement. It's supposed to have 4.7 firefighters per fire event.
Does your insurance change if you're rating this?
Yes, it does. Residential changes up to about 5 or 6 an acre. Industrial is after 5 or 6 an acre. There's only 3, and it's rating on a scale of 1 to 10 across the whole state of Indiana. There were 3 departments that are 1. That's Brownsburg, Bloomington, and somebody up in North. I can't think of the name. We're going 3 departments that are 1. In Brownsburg, probably lose the 1 status because they can't meet the requirements. It's just, it's almost impossible. I mean, I think Lebanon and City of Lebanon is a 3, but they got full-time department, full-time budget, full-time money.
Jim, it affects the residents' insurance too, right?
Yes, residential insurance and commercial insurance, yeah, changes the rate. So we're trying the best we can to get our rate down, but the rules keep changing, to make it tough, like everything else.
What were you rating last year?
When last year was, 4 years ago, we were at 6. We'd be lucky if we can keep an 8, just because of rules have changed. And now that they're rating it inside town and outside town, that's what the standard show is, how much water we can supply outside of town or residential water. It's hard to.
It's still over in the station.
Well, I'm not sure. Well, that's my guys asked, tenors, so per department, does their training help? No, they don't care. has to be trained here. And has to be class that certified, in other words, a curriculum use class to serve. Well, great tough. Okay, next.
Cindy. Illinois weeds, spring weeds, water tower, town lots, park, all that stuff. Tree trimming, clearing the fence rows, burning the brush piles at the park, so that we could, actually mow underneath the trees and around the trees. We've asked for the last 3 months to get it done, and finally, we got saying at the last meeting that we could do it, so we did it. Repaired the water main break on Nicely Street, upcoming job, no meeting, locating, pump tanks, all that good stuff.
Is it the park board's responsibility to do that then, or?
We've always had community days, we've had community days in the past, it's like festival clean out and completely cleared it out.
Right, another thing.
And they had community days for the town.
Anybody?
Four service requests were completed in June. One emergency was reported, and 10 poles were replaced, working on the Comcast mid ready.
We didn't, you mentioned, can I go back to you guys? We were talking about, we had 44,000 gallons of mechanical water. And we looked at the meters and coverage of the meters as well. We looked at the lines, and we can't find any leaks. The other possibility is the meters that we have are limited to reading store. So I suggested to Carla and Sherry that we buy a certain number of meters and install those meters as a test for meter to see if that's the actual problem. If our meters are uninstalled.
We're talking house meters?
No meters.
They're hitting their end of life pretty soon.
And like I said, I think if we replace a certain amount and we see that that's a problem, then maybe we can afford to replace more on a regular basis until a year or so, 18 months, we have all replaced. Because it's pretty expensive, and then $300 to $500 a piece.
That's this kind of farmer's water and everything?
The farmers, what they have to take that, they have 100 meters.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have, that's accounted.
That's all right.
Every gallon that the water's pumped has to be accounted
Yeah.
for, except for when we actually have black fire.
I didn't know where they
And
had
they,
to put it
and they still have to, Troy has to get with Carla to get a date that works for both of them to do some pumping inspections, so that's what needs to be done.
Going back and getting UMAC, when we did talk to the fire department staff, the ISO guy wanted to know certified information from Troy about the pumps, what we had to do with pumps work on this last year. He needed details on that. He needed details on all the hazards when they're flow tested. Have a special way to flow test and have to flow test on where you flow test one, check the pressure limit, or that's the flow, and how much water we pump in winter and how much water we pump in summer. All this stuff, we've never had to answer that before. So that's,
How more in the summer, because I feel like our fall, winter, we're not losing as much water.
well, that's what I'm saying. In summertime, there's so many pools or water in the flowers and stuff, or certain times of the year, and that's spot it, it's running through the meter, so that could be the problem.
flows and stuff.
Jim, you also have to put into consideration this month, you had a 4-inch water main break too.
Okay.
So that will probably have something to do with it.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it was collected for June or July. I'm sure it's June, it should be June.
And that's another problem, is when we have water main leak, we can't really count how much water, just like you can't count the water on fire.
And that's what that reporting is important with the AWWA audit that I have to do before August.
Yeah.
And it counts for every gallon.
The state wants us to show every gallon of water we use. So, right now, we're not doing very well, what we're selling. In the commission report, I haven't, been to a meeting. I don't go until next Friday to commission meeting. Pretty much the same thing. They're looking at all these small nuclear reactors. There's still a lot of them in development. And some of these small nuclear reactors are actually able to use the old fuel that they got stored in mines and everything. They can bring that stuff back up and reuse that in these new reactors because they're more efficient in their last stages because they don't use steam. They don't have the big cooling towers because they use molten salt. So it's reactors like what you run on the nuclear aircraft carriers and submarines, similar to that. Most of them run about 60 megawatts, the one that's old, and you can string them together and use as much as you want. So if you run these big centers like Nettis Center, something like that, they could actually put a reactor right there in Boone County and not be a problem because the only water they need is that they're stored into like a swimming pool that they put the reactor in. And that's just it goes one way and just shut it down and the water goes off. If there would be no draft and no radiation release. So I'm hoping I can get one of that. It's just to do this. It takes 2 years to get it. Cronin Associates have reached that. Sure.
Yeah, their agreement, so it was sent to the council to review, and you guys approved to move forward with getting an engagement letter, so I have that, it has their rates listed, so council just needs to make a determination.
This is just for water and sewer?
Yes, not electric, we just did electric, for Smiths.
We don't know that we need to agree, Chris, but we need to look at it and make sure we're not broke. Because no matter what we think, we don't know until it's like that.
So how long was the last time?
7 years ago, they should be done every 3 to 5. But we were kind of holding off because of, the sewer plant updates.
Right.
Because you have to have an updated rate study and get it on.
Okay, and we need something.
Either approve it or you want to approve it first.
Can you get a motion to approve it?
Make a motion for
Favor say aye.
And for you to sign.
And for me to sign.
Jim to sign.
When you buy the meters, is it just one company that we use, or do we get different price?
There's different companies, but sometimes they're not compatible with the flushing system we have. So we have to have a system, a meter that matches what we do for automatic flushing. And we looked at INPA, come out and looked at that and the panel speaker, which is the one to make the meter. Lots of meter, read the meter from the office. Okay. We talked to those people and there's some quarterly deal with those people. We can't get in contact with the right person to get the meter for. But we're trying to do that.
I didn't want to walk on his chase, I guess.
So we want the meters, but we want the meters to work.
What company is it?
Tantalus.
That's a meter, I mean, but actually meters.
Oh, it's there's Badger and there's this Badger.
I think it's bad.
Badger, yes.
The actual meter can make from this company, but the meter, I mean, we have to use it. I agree with Franklin's. What you talking about?
So with the water main break, I wanted to ask the council, who is responsible to pay for that? Does the town have to pay for the water main break, or is INPA responsible, or who's responsible? They hit, INPA hit
They were
water.
putting in the new holes for the Comcast and located it, and okay was off. And the reason the okay was off is because if you look at the street is crooked. And I remember when they put that line in, there was no engineer, they just that would hold up plastic, I mean, it's located pretty good. So I'm kind of saying that it's our fault, but not our fault, okay, it's our fault. 4 years ago when they did it screwed up, but they should have a tracing wire on through there, and they didn't do that. All of a sudden on 75, got tracing wires on it, tracing wires on the main. There's no tracing wires, when you got plastic, all you do is guess. So I talked to the input people about it, and from this point on, we will not be able to do piping. So that, because they don't run the drainage valves are, they run the water lines are, they don't know anything, and they're almost impossible to locate.
There's only so much you can do when the plumbing locates. And yes, I was off. I was off about a foot.
Yeah, but you also have grace periods, or
I have,
grace
I
area.
have a 2 foot grace period.
Yeah, so
The-
if they go.
the
over
problem-
that,
The problem was where their IMPA had their, where they said they were gonna put the hole, they would have been okay, but they, and I understand why, they moved it out a little bit, and then they hit it.
And
The,
like I said,
the issue is, you know, it don't matter where you go, you're gonna hit something,
Oh,
you know, I mean, it's, the only thing we're doing, you know, I'm going off of Jeff, and I'm going off of everybody that Jeff learned. Do I know where everything's at? No. I did, and I'm not saying I do. I witched it, the whole thing witched in the middle, about a foot off the driveway, or the road, or into the road. I knew it was there because we've done work there before. What I didn't estimate was the road's crooked.
but you still have, but I was saying, you still have grace area though, that's what.
I only have, it's only 2 foot.
Yeah,
It's a 2 foot on each side.
so,
your mark,
Do I?
each side of your mark.
Each side of my mark, and I was at 3. I was right at 3. The issue, I mean, that was one of the issues. The other issue was, you know, there is a storm drain that is literally 6 inches from the water main. So, and I know and it's a 12-inch water, or a 12-inch ditch, or a 12-inch pipe. So, do we have a water leak, as we've said? Who knows? Who knows where it's going? With all this, you know, who in the world puts a 12-inch sewer, or, you know, storm drain right next to a 4-inch water main? Don't make a lot of sense to me, whatever. You know, but, and like I said, I was off, you know. But how many have we done that we weren't off, you know? And it's not, you know, the big companies are the same way. If they have no actual way to locate, the only really actual way to locate it is with a wire or you hydrovac. The town doesn't want to pay me to hydrovac because I think there's a line there and there's no line there, you know.
What we could do is say any contractor that wants to dig and see that I do that. Hopefully they dig.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I know where most of them are.
well,
But-
what we need, because when Jeff passed away, all of this went with him. So.
Not all of
Not all of it, but, you know, that went with him, so we need GIS for water and sewer. And that would be beneficial and helpful.
Well, it'd be helpful, but it didn't guarantee
It
it.
doesn't guarantee it, but here's what I don't want to happen, I don't want to have them digging all these holes and hitting, and.
That's why and Chris and I talked that day, he says, we're just gonna have to start hydrovac. And Chris knows, he's worked here, he knows where everything is. He was the same way with me. He said, I knew that thing was out in the middle of the road. I said, so did I.
The thing is, Chris said that everything you do now inside the city limits has.
Yeah, that's what we took, you know, we talked about it before he talked to you. He said, we just need to hydrovac everything. I said, that would be it.
Well, because you know where the sewer lines are, you know where the actual, there's so much junk in this town, old, storm drains and stuff like that, and who knows? And a lot of those people goes in just live on that napkin and backhoe or spade. Okay,
But I do think we need to budget, not this year, but maybe in a year or so, we do need to get a GIS done. We have our electric, we need it for
Water and sewer.
everything, yeah. So then town pays the centers.
I would say at this point.
Okay,
And the reason being is,
How much is it?
3,000. 3,015.
reason being is, I remember when they put the line in and it was not, well, there's a fire hydrant there, but it's nothing to flush out. They need to go real fiber. They were doing cheap and free. I have no idea. I asked that question after they did it. They told me that's just what we wanted to do. I go, you're a gun company. Okay,
You had asked at the last meeting that, any outstanding utility bills, Carla did the math, and we have outstanding 28,299.49. That's
okay,
not,
is that, what the charge?
that everything is on tracks.
Are we about that? We're trying to collect that.
$28,299.49.
So what that system is if you, don't pay your utility bill, they turn your name into the state of Indiana, and they will take your city income tax until the bill's paid. And how much we collected this last year?
Just this year, 19,000. Overall, we collected over 25,000. Unpaid utility bills.
We're trying to change that utility to a 5
And Carla had trained countless towns on how to do it.
How many years does it take for it to grow up?
10 years is the statute of limitations. Now, I taught a class at my last conference on that, and somebody said, well, we keep collecting forever, and I'm like, well, our attorney advised 10 years. Because that's the statute.
We're good with tracks. Consideration of third quarter tracking factor for Olympic. Tracking factor, the third quarter tracking factor is going to go up. And what that tracking factor is, the actual cost of fuel and maintenance on the generating plants. And it's going to go up 43 cents for 1,000 kilowatt. So that seems like not much, but depends on how much power we use.
The third quarter tracking factor, which is for August, September, and October, is 0.00316. So just need to.
Can you get a motion to approve the tracking factor for the board?
Make motion to approve the tracking factor for third quarter.
Second.
Next up, Keith. On favor, say aye. Keith,
Like, 8 EMS runs, 3 fires, 1 false alarm, 5 canceled, and 2 hazards.
okay, next up also is the county commissioners. I'm been in for a long time that help the volunteer fire departments in the county because things like the league district have pushed a lot of pressure on the volunteer fire departments. Our runs have went from 148 to 23 to 260 and 25. I'm going to go over through him this year. And I can't ask guys to get out of bed for nothing at 2 o'clock in the morning to pick up a 400-pound lady that should be in a nursing home for nothing. So I'm going to come up with some method to compensate these people. And hopefully the county council is providing us with enough money to properly compensate them. Plus, had to cut off a lot of corners and a lot of stuff just to make sure we keep the doors open here. And if we get the money in, we'll have enough money to fix the broken hinges on the doors and stuff. We're different on different things we have. And we're looking down the road, we may have to replace some rock on Station 2 because it's 20 years old. We may have to replace the furnaces here because they're 16 years old. Though all those things are super expensive things, plus a new fire truck. The one we have right there, the 51, we got for $225,000. If I went to buy that today, it would be over $750,000 with nothing on it. Just go through it already with nothing. No effects, nothing on it. We put another $100,000 for nothing put on top of that. We're looking at a new tanker. The tanker we got in 2000 was $125,000. Looking at a replacement for $500,000. It'll take 2 years to get it. So hopefully, if it's split, if this passes on the 28th, we'll have enough money to look for the rehab grant funding for equipment right now for current year, which it's gonna cost about $40,000. Quite a deal. Get the grant. At this point in time, once we get the money, out of the money line. So also, we got a grant for a $500,000 tanker. We're gonna get that. I don't know what we'll get, but have to start feeding the youth, take the night shift and some cheese sandwich on the street here.
Sure, why not?
The thing is, there's an organization across the NPA, which is the National Park Protection Association. They're getting all kinds of, we got real strict requirements that they meet. We have to meet. The real deal is, if we don't meet those requirements, we're in, I'm personally liable, or the department's liable for not meeting those requirements, which every 10 years, the gear has to be replaced. No matter, I've got gear that maybe has almost no damage to it, because it's 10 years old, I gotta replace it. We're supposed to replace the hose at a certain air packs certain age, and engine certain age, tire. Supposed to replace the tire for 7 years. I can't afford my tires for 7 years. Can't afford it. I'm just lucky to get the air packs tested and keep you guys in good equipment. That's my goal on this fire department is to make the guys that go out and do the job, give them as good equipment as possible, as safe as can. And if it has corners on other things, I'm going to do that. Like I said, make that corners on maintaining the building, or cut corners and stuff, the equipment goes out the door should be good. People around us should have equipment they can afford. Right now, it's not tough.
Is the county on that?
You want-
Is the county?
The county's gonna try and, hopefully, I gotta meet with the 28th and then
You got to take it.
ordinance. We'll get one man money on the 17th, which means I'll better do some, we could talk about some of the, fix up some of the stuff and pay some bills off that we have. And my equipment, necessary equipment are like that, and maybe pay the guys some money. And all that's, we met last night and we talked about that, and we're not sure until this happens. It's like, we don't know what the plan is, but we will sit down and have a plan by January 1st of how we're gonna spend the money. We have a way we do that, we call it brainstorming, where we sit down and say, what's the priority for this and this and this? And we put it down to like 3 items. We've done that for years, and even if we say we get it done in 5 years, we get it done in 3 years. Because everybody's focused on what it takes to get the job done. So that's part of it.
Please. We had 19 runs last month. 9 of them were related to suicide. Kind of a tough deal, young kids in the home, found their mother. And there ended up with 2 investigations out of it. They're still ongoing. There was 2 special patrols. There's a county officer that likes to patrol the parking lot. He marks out when he does it, so there's one there. There was 2 smells of gas. It was called in as gas from Keystone. Actually, it was anhydrous. 4 sex offender checks, which is normal. 1 welfare check, which ends up being a grandmother that's hoping to find something so she can get custody of the kids. So she keeps sending the police out. There was a theft report that was a county unit responded to. There's no notes in it, but no report was made, so it must not have been anything. I took a fraud report on a purchase that someone made online. We got their credit card number stolen. And then there was a domestic standby where a mother had a victor, 35-year-old daughter. So I stood by and made sure nobody killed anybody. This Saturday is back to school at Wells. I think it's 9 to 1, maybe it's 8 to 11 or 9 to 11. But Linda Randall will be doing it through WAM. Lebo goes back to school on August 8th. It's coming up. So, we're having planning meetings for the 251st celebration. We meet every other Wednesday. We're meeting this Wednesday, right, Scott? Tomorrow night. anybody that wants to be involved, it's looking up. I think we may be able to do a lot of things. It's gonna be really hard to do what we did last year with the 250, but I think a lot of the money's gonna still be there, so I think we can still have the street party. One thing I'm really excited about, I'm gonna leak it, Scott, is that I think we're gonna be able to get a hot air balloon rides. And, so it'll be hot, it's a tethered ride that goes 300 feet in the air or something like that.
For you guys still meet here at the fire station?
Yes.
You need to let me know for sure, because somebody else may want to do that, and you might want to make sure that they have to find someplace else if you're meeting on those days. Okay?
Yeah,
Gotta give you the explanations for me.
yeah, well, I'll make sure I do. Tomorrow night, is that okay? Is that enough notice?
Yeah.
If we have to do somewhere else, we can. It's not a big deal.
I just want to make sure that everybody else wants to step on your talking. Okay?
So, yeah, I'm pretty excited. We got a good bunch of people getting involved. I think it was so successful last year. We've had a lot of people that want to be involved. There have tons of comments of people want to make sure we keep it going. So I'm pretty excited about it. It was a really good night for advance. Yes, the 15th, May 15th. The county asked us to move it to the next weekend. They're trying to do a county-wide festival in every town. We felt like Advance would have a lot of trouble competing with the rest of the county. And all these towns are gonna be trying to get food trucks and stuff there. So we thought we would probably not be as successful if we went to the same weekend as the county. The Discover Boone County is trying to organize all the towns to do it. So I don't know. I'm gonna try to talk to them. They're calling it a firefly, and I'm gonna try to talk to them and say, hey, Boone County's got so much going on, we have to do it in 2 weekends. So maybe we can do that, so it's not on just one day. Last thing I have is the elderly shut-in program that I wanna do with the new reserves. I gave you guys MOUs that was written by the Danville Fire Chief. It's pretty clear cut. I took,
The problem is, we don't know for sure if Amy's reviewed this yet.
she has, she's talked to me, and she didn't have any problem with it. She wanted to change some of the wording. I think the problems the stuff she wanted to change is I think maybe she didn't understand police and fire jargon. So that's understandable. So she wants to, Danville Fire wanted our attorney to review it first. They've sent it to their attorney. Amy asked that when, I guess she's on vacation till the end of the month. When she gets back, the Danville attorney has left her a message. She wants to get together with the two attorneys and talk about it.
Right. That's what I'm saying, is until we absolutely, this MOU is reviewed by our attorney and agreed to by their attorney, we shouldn't do much anything. I'm not saying it's a bad program or we should not do the program or anything like that. Just want to make sure that we do it right. We don't get one chance to do it.
Once we've asked the attorneys to review it, we gotta give them time to do it.
Right. Understand. And the thing is that the actual guys, once the attorneys review it, the guys have to say, can I do this, what they're saying? Because sometimes attorneys try to step up, but it's not really something that people want to do.
The MOU says that these guys won't use any police powers when they're not in advance. And Amanda, Jim, and I met with the fire chief from Danville, and he told us that he can arm his arson investigators, and that's part of their reason why they want to do it. The problem that he has is he can't train them because they're a fire department. They can't, with IELA, they have to be policemen to get firearms training. So that's the biggest thing for him,
Okay.
is that.
So this is kind of on the parking lot until we all the attorneys get done.
Yes.
I don't have a problem with that. Anybody got a problem with that?
I also did some math that I would like to share with council, because I know at the last meeting, you had requested Brad get with me on all the costs incurred. So we went over his budget for the town, but after we did that, I made up a list. So can I go through that?
Sure.
Okay, so currently, because when it was requested to buy new uniforms and Daniels has already been purchased, there were 2 outstanding invoices, so the clothing allowance has already been overspent by almost $1,000. The tokens for what, when they sign on, because last year we only budgeted 1,000, well, then we had to get 2 or 3 more tokens. And those are, $300 and some dollars a piece. Basically, for 3 more tokens, it's gonna be $1,263. Training cost, Brad said last meeting, there was $1,000 still in it. However, there's a Lexipol online that comes out in October because the training year for that is October 1st through September 30th, so it hasn't come out yet. Cyber protection, which we'll have those quotes next month, but cyber protection estimated for police will probably be around $1,500. The death benefit with the new reserves will be an increase of $389.25. Microsoft added to the computer is $150. So and ammunition is also going to increase. So with uncertainties with Senate 1, this increases the budget of the police by $3,253.75.
Okay, so that means if we're gonna do this, we need to look at the police budget and do what we gotta do.
Can I say a couple things?
Sure.
We gotta do Microsoft anyway. We gotta do the
But
training.
it's got, I'm just saying, these are all the extra expenses that are gonna have to be added to your.
No, they're not all extra. I'm not getting tokens. I'm not gonna do that. So there won't be the token cost. And, the uniforms are gonna be, they're only gonna work 12 hours a month. So I'm only gonna buy 1 uniform, it's pretty minor. Like I said before, the Danville Fire is gonna provide the radios. I got the vests donated. The vests are $3,000. They're gonna be donated. The Danville officers are gonna buy their own guns. They've already bought them, they're ready to go. So when you talk about, we're probably maybe looking at $1,500 increase. And I've found ways to finance probably close to $10,000, probably more than that with the radios. So $1,500 is pretty minor. And I know with the sale of the cars and the trucks and stuff, on this budget here, it shows that I have $130,000 in lit money that I haven't spent in the 9 years I've been here. So I think that $1,500, this program is going to be a state of the art. It's going to be something new. It's going to be something we can brag about. It's going to bring positive attention to our town, showing that we care about our old people. And I think it's going to be a good thing. One thing that I think that I'm most proud of in my lifetime, as in my career, is this year will be 40 years I've been in law enforcement. I'm still out here hustling. I'm still out here trying to come up with new ideas. I'm still making more work for myself. And I haven't given up. I haven't laid down the road over. I mean, we've had problems in the past where we've had people that didn't want to come in here and do anything, didn't want to show up to work. And I just want to say that this is something I really want to do. I really think it'll be beneficial. And it's really going to bring a lot of attention to our town. It's going to be good for our residents.
We need to look at the budget for the police department for 27 and make sure we're gonna do this so we have the money to fund it. If we don't have the money to fund it, we can't do it. But I think there is money there for the police to get send that lit money, but that's gotta be moved over from lit fund over to the police budget. It's gonna be an additional appropriation right
You can't move from fund to fund, it would have to be an additional appropriation.
there.
See,
Or add it into the budget.
When we got rid of our part-time deputy, that saved us about $27,000 a year. This is a way where we can get some manpower and some more visibility for $1,500.
That's it. We'll see what happens. I mean, first thing's gotta do the attorney reviews and we gotta look at the budget. The budget's gonna be difficult for everything. With all the budget, everything, all across the board, we'll do, okay?
The vests that are being donated, are those donated to the admins or to the actual officer? Do they pay them?
We'd add that.
Oh, okay.
So Jake Laird Memorial Fund.
Huh?
Jake Laird Memorial Fund, suicide donate.
So one question I had, because I went through and because the Tahoe hasn't, the mileage report said it hasn't been driven in over 3 months. So how often are your other reserves working?
Not enough, but I called them this week. 2 of them are firemen or farmers, and one works at Coal Alliance. So they're committed to having, they said they have free time now, they're gonna start working. I knew that the April, May, and June would be hard for them. So, and the Tahoe hasn't been driven since the 16th, since the festival. So I guess when I say 3 months, it hasn't been quite 3 months. But a little over 2.
Well, the report's just said.
Yeah, I missed it.
So I just want to make sure if we're, if we're investing, then do we need to look at, do we need to keep who we have and just bring these guys on, or, I'm just throwing out suggestions, cost effective.
When we hired him, Sean originally, we didn't plan on going to Coal Alliance, but John and Alex, we knew that they were going to be that.
My thought is, if all this works out, there's a lot of nerves right now, that we can do it for at least 1 year, if everything works out. I'm not saying yes or no right now until the attorneys review it and we look at all the money and budgets are set. But if we do it for 1 year and it's gonna work, or less than that, we just get rid of it.
Yeah, and the MOU is really clear on that. That it's up to our discretion, whenever we want out, we can let them get out, there's no expectations.
Okay?
Yes.
Nora?
Stand it.
Oh, we're trying to buy it for Nora. New phone service, Sherry.
So we got a hold of these two, Jim, all your questions were answered.
Okay.
He said Nextipio encrypts all calls using TLS and SRTP encryption, meaning both the call setup and the actual voice conversations are fully encrypted in transit. Our platform is also SOC2 audited, ISO number, certified HIPAA compliant with eligible plans, and hosted in PCI DSS certified data centers for 24/7 monitoring. He said you can feel confident that your communications are protected to enterprise grade standards. That was on the Nextipio. So the quote on that, I can give copies for everybody. It's on page 7 of 8. The cost for that, let me back up. So the other one is $156. Carla and I was about to set it up. I was just not impressed when I talked to the guy. He said, they have to put a port on our copier so that we can, I was like, I don't like the way this sounds. And then we have to use the mobile app to do things, and I'm like, no. So this one, they set it up for us. He said the monthly is $60 plus taxes plus fees. I think originally he said it was $101.85, but that was not counting a line grab, which had $10, so basically $101.85.
What is it now?
No, a lot more than that. And this is gonna be more secure, we can do all sorts of things, and, he said there's, onboarding, so they would teach us how to use it.
One thing Sherry talked to me about was the fact that, this is gonna be voice over, but a really problem with Pricey.
Everybody knows that.
We were down for 2 weeks, the city building had no phone for 2 weeks. People could call and pay their bills, people can contact us with anything. We put out a group alert to tell them you use cell phone service, but a lot of things we need a good depend on telephone service. Because a lot of things both in that office need to be done on a daily basis. We can't depend on Rescue because they're not very loud. Sherry's recommended this one company because our plan said we'll get Brad a individual phone for his office, and Sherry probably will have phones, and it's all going to be super secure. There where we're talking on the phone, so people can't hear it going back to the internet. That was one thing I was worried about, because right now, if it can be hacked, somebody will try to hack it. So
So does this have a contract for service?
Yeah, the other one,
Like, how
I mean,
long?
this one, he said, if we ever wanna just, I think this is 2 years, and then after that, if we don't want to do it anymore. Yeah.
that provide all the equipment for
No cost for the equipment, no cost for the setup, I mean, this guy,
What about replacement costs? Do they replace?
well, I didn't ask him about that, so I didn't know how much they said it was gonna be less than price speed, so and it's gonna be more reliable, so it's.
I mean,
Sure, if we have a replacement, cost where you can get back to the one customer.
Shoot report.
Sometimes you should.
So, that, my recommendation would be the next to that.
Can I get a motion to, sign a contract with Next Step Up?
Make a motion for,
I'll second.
On first, yeah.
And we'll get music when you're on board. Oh.
Moving shit's here, that's much cheaper than the price cake. It's just so much cheaper.
Oh, several $100s cheaper. Yes. And it's gonna be more reliable. After that fast, I was done, and I Comcast came later. So,
Okay,
I will follow up, and before I tell her someone go, I'm gonna ask that, and I'll go over it next time.
next, the agreement for the attorney.
Yeah, because the next two things are tabled. So I went ahead so we could budget, Amy's recommended, she just for retainer went up 2,000. From, last year it was 20, so it's going to 22, same hourly fee,
Okay,
same as it's been.
so we don't need to sign the agreement right now? We do.
We might as well, because she didn't have $100 for us.
Can I get a motion to approve the agreement for the attorney for 27?
I'll make a motion to approve the agreement for 27.
Will not be a Sunday?
And Virginia second.
All in favor, say aye. Next is the tire bank. Sure.
What?
We can look at sometime in September. And Brent, we use your lot to get rid of the tires?
Yep.
Can you get a hold of Robert Gill and tell him we're going to get rid of the tires? Because he said last time, he didn't know that, we got rid of some tires that are moving.
12.
The 12th of September. Roll call.
And then the second, the kind of solid waste.
Yes, it's good thing, solid waste.
What's gonna be the time?
But people, I mean, 8 in the morning till whatever, yeah.
So it's full.
That's all.
Is that a Saturday? Yes. Okay. I will get with Jennifer and coordinate, and get a notice.
We're gonna, all I did is put a little ladder in the back of the semi-trailer and tell us to walk up the ladder, throw the tires in front, so it's full.
people from out of town bring.
We don't care. That's when you guys said, well, you don't wanna do that, Jim, free pickup the tires for the people who goes out of state or to another county, charge people $3 for a tire. We don't know that.
I think they have to be an independent resident.
They show their driver's license.
Yeah.
That Jennifer had last time.
No, I should see.
You didn't see the driver's license?
Not for us.
Oh, I know they've done that in the past.
You didn't see anything about that?
Yeah,
It's a great program.
I think we just want to take that.
Well, we had one address, what, 2 or 3 pickup trucks loaded to 7 foot tall. We shot that tires a lot of times, so.
What do they do with all those tires?
What does who do?
Solid
They
waste.
recycle?
Solid waste, it's like-
Make mulch out of it.
Like for, like houses.
You can even burn them in the power generating plants or something, yeah, you can. And so there's short requirements, but I don't know that they can actually, not just open burn, they can put that furnace. It's sure I'm not small enough to do that. Yeah,
We should do it before it burns the water.
Okay. Next up is additional appropriation, Sherry.
Yes, so, I will be, advertising and writing a resolution, or getting a resolution together for next meeting, because with DLGF, the additional appropriations process has changed, so I just got to brush up on that. So we'll do an additional appropriation for maintenance of $2,650, $6,250 to go into contractual services, and then $1,000 for miscellaneous supplies.
All
$1,000 for much less for that extra for the police, right?
No, that was because I dropped the miscellaneous supplies appropriation last year, and we're in a deficit, so.
They're just like in general.
Yes. Well, park will be out of park, and then miscellaneous and strategic plan, those will all be general funds.
That'll be next month when we approve those resolutions. Okay. Commissioner Pell, if you'd like to say something, you're not on the agenda, but we'll allow you to speak. You're allowed 3 minutes.
I just came to observe and get out of the corn down, I think they about had to revive a couple of them when I walked into the meeting there yesterday. But I'm just trying to get out and be seen and listen to the problems, budget time, and I think we're gonna be pleasantly surprised, still old in this, but I think that SB 1 is gonna hurt, but with our outstanding rate we have, I think that's gonna offset that. That's what we're very hopeful for.
You're looking at Canada, what about came back? We're not getting any growth.
What?
We're not getting any growth. We got one house under construction, that's it.
We're gonna do something about this. I know we're gonna try to get natural gas, Western wind, and out this way, so that'll be huge.
We're talking center point. No guarantees. When we first, Western Wood started talking to them, it wasn't like that, it was Western Wood started. And because they're on Boone Power, Total Electric, and the bills are tremendous. I've heard $40,000 a month for this, legal. And, Bradley also spends 30,000 gallons a year for, LP. All one would be a lot less. Plus, we got Smith, we got the two churches on 75. 80% of residents of Van Ness, all the businesses in Van Ness are on LP. So, there'll be quite an adjustment. What they said is there's two processes. If you do it one way, it's a 5.5 year payback. If you do it another way, it's a 20-year payback. And you have to go before the utility regulatory commission to get the call road. And if it's 20-year payback, that means the actual gas for a customer, one of the measures is for natural gas is cheaper than the 5 year. So hopefully get a cheap price so we don't need to screw the system up or rates to stay.
Sure. I think another thing you brought up earlier in the meeting, that it may get both ways out of being kind of had a bill, but I'm totally in favor of small nuclear reactors. That's the way of the future, we're gonna have to do something. And they're very expensive. I think a 60 megawatt is like $1 billion or something. And they're good for 40 years.
It's
So
just
that, good,
the time to get it in, that's the problem.
right.
Well, the government is trying to shorten the time up because it was put in an natural gas plant, we spend 3 years just to apply for the plant. Then once you get approval for the plant, it takes another 3 to 5 years to build the plant, just for natural gas. And with nuclear, they're talking 10 years. Well, it shouldn't take that long with these new plants to get approval. Just, the only thing I can see would be in making sure the environmental part was done.
Are they all made in China right now?
Huh?
Are they all made in China?
No. You know, there's some of them are made in, they're doing some testing in Idaho, and there's a company supposedly in Lafayette, that's supposedly building some with, I think they had headquarters in Permian, that they're supposed to manufacture in Lafayette, what I've heard.
Military's already got them, they're moving.
Well, they got the aircraft carriers, got them.
Yep, submarines, there's been one for several years that nobody really knows much about, it's at Purdue. It's been powering substantial, I don't know what exactly, but for the university or West Lafayette, but they've never had any issues with it.
The big thing is, everybody's scared because we're Mile Island and some of these other places, and Chernobyl, all those are different types of planes. And the ones now, they're trying to make it as safe as possible, but that is the solar parks are only good when the sun shines, and windmills are only good when the wind blows, and that's all the time. We have to have power 24/7. And as I've said a couple of commissioners, I don't care where the power comes from, I just want my grandkids to have I'm having that one.
If I can catch them two groundhogs that I got traps out for, we can get a treadmill. Get them. Meeting's been too serious, I'm sorry.
I'm trying, because the commissioner is breaking serious for just,
Have we had any sightings to be able to, the turkey? Been worried about it. Is that what it is?
we saw
We
the.
saw two of them.
Yeah.
We have this turkey in town, that's one on Thanksgiving, and on Main Street. Our town-
They'll chase you around in the fall and winter, when the season comes, and you can't find one.
If you go west, if you go east out of town, to Jeff, my Jeffy's right there, there's a couple turkeys. It's
Make a motion on this meeting.
Second.
Now.
All in favor? Carried.
Shut that down. We have a couple of things we need to say, but we shut that down. We'll talk about.
Gotta reopen the meeting.
You know that.
Sherry off on it.
You know, I've had trouble with a certain person in town.
Oh, on the boat?
I'm sorry.
Still recording.
Okay. That's good.